Hey guys! Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make this awesome game on Scratch. It's named Fantastic Flowers. Let's start! The main objective of this game is to create a virtual meadow and fill it with colorful flowers. In this project, you'll learn how to make your own customized Scratch blocks. Each time one of these runs, it triggers a special code called a subprogram, which paints the flower. It's pretty awesome, so try it for yourself. To start, we're going to rename this project into Fantastic Flowers. Now we're going to click on the Sprites option and find the ball sprite. Going onto the Costumes tab, you can choose almost any colored ball that you want, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to change that later in this script. For this project, we're going to need a new extension that's called the pen. That's going to help us do most of our code. It's time to start building our code. For the beginning, we're going to start by the main code. That's going to be the main code for the start of our project. We're going to have to change this later on to change some of the settings that makes our project different. We're going to start the main code by the when green flag clicked, but this is going to change later on in the project. If you're inside the project, another way you can make the main code work is by clicking on the script. You can see what sprite you're building the code on in the top right. Now it's time to make our own blocks. We're going to click on the My Blocks category in the top left. Now we're going to click on Make a Block. Once we click Make a Block, we're going to put Draw Flower into the little input that comes up. We're going to delete the main code block, which is the when green flag clicked, and replace it with a defined Draw Flower block. And then we're going to build our second main code on the right. We don't want the player who's playing the simulator game to click everywhere and then its canvas fills all up. We want an eraser tool. To do so, we're going to have to make a when space key press starter block and put the erase all from the pen extension underneath it. This is going to clear up the canvas once we're finished. Now we have to add a new input to our block. We're going to right click on the define draw flower block, and then we're going to add a new input, which is going to be the number of petals. We're going to drag that into our blue motion sense block and use some of the tools and blocks from the operators section in the taskbar. We're going to add a brand new input, and that's going to be the center color in the define block by right-clicking and clicking on edit. Now we're going to shift around the code a bit. You can see two new blocks on the draw flower near where the operators are. Now, the petals in the center color aren't going to change on their own. We're going to have to add a new block from the looks category to change the color effect. On the define block that we just made, you can see three categories. Those are little tiny blocks that you can go ahead and add into your code anytime you want. That's going to be the main code that's going to actually run the project, or else if you don't add those inputs, the define block has no value. We're going to shift the code around a bit by adding another looks block to change the color effect. But the main thing you really have to pay attention to is that you're looking at the numbers that I'm putting in, and you're looking at the places where the little code is going in. Now you're going to have to go to the pen extension tool, and you're going to click Erase All and add that in the beginning of our main code. This is so that the user won't get confused and won't have to click on the spacebar after rerunning the simulator. Now we're going to go into the Operators tab, and we're going to add in the Pick Random into the second input on the last code block. You want to make sure that the last code block in the main code is a block that you made. Just make sure that the digits are correct in those three little inputs. The last input's also going to be a Pick Random block, and it's similar to the second one. Or should I say, the same. Now, finally, it's time to run the code. Click on the green flag next to the stop sign on the top. You should see when you click in random places on the board, you can see different colored flowers with different colored centers come up, though my second one that I clicked had the same colored center as the petals. And once your board is all covered up with flowers, remember that we added a code that when you click on the space bar, it would erase everything. So try that and try to make more flowers. Real flowers grow on stalks, so follow the next few steps to add stalks to your virtual flowers to make them look more realistic. Using custom blocks makes the code easy to read so you always know what's going on. Choose My Blocks in the block palette and then click Make a Block. Call the new block Draw Stalk. After you've typed the name on the block, click on the number inputs for the length and thickness of the stalks. Then you want to click OK. Now, build this code on the Define Header block. Drag the length and thickness blocks from the header to where they're used in the code. Now, when you're adding the set pen color to, you want to use a color that a real stalk might be. You just don't want to use a blue stalk or a red stalk, though some flowers do have red stalks, but you want to make this meadow realistic. Now you want to add the new Draw Stalk block to the main code. Fill in the numbers to get the stalk's length to 100 and its thickness to 5. Run the project and enjoy! Now, flowers can't just grow on a white plain surface. You want some grass. You want a meadow. So find a backdrop that you like from the backdrop library or paint your own. Next up, some hacks and tweaks. Feel free to experiment with the code to change the color, size, and shapes of the flowers as much as you want. You don't have to use the ball sprite as a template. Try creating your own templates to generate more interesting shapes. With a little imagination, you can create all sorts of beautiful scenes. Now, these hacks and tweaks can be a little challenging, so I'm only showing one, but you can always experiment the code to make up your own. Now, try swapping the code, the main code, for this one. It draws flowers in random places automatically, eventually covering the stage with them. Think about how you could add position inputs to the Draw Flower block. You need to add the X and Y inputs to add a Go To block at the start of the block's definition. Follow this code. The chosen ranges keep the flowers away from the edges. But why not use the costume editor to add a different petal to the flowers? Click on the Costumes tab and add a new costume with the paint symbol. Oval petals work well. You'll need to add blocks to define the Draw Flower code to swap between the petal costume and the ball A costume for the flower center. Run the code and see what works well for you. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Bye!